guys, so my topic is environmental changes that have resulted from unchecked exploitation of natural resources. In this video, I'll be explaining what major theory is used to explain social change relating to my topic, conditions contributing to social change and the environment, factors leading resistance to change, as well as the impacts of this social change on individuals in society. So getting started on this, how has society exploited natural resources? Now, we've done so in so many ways, it all starting near the 19th century when new materials started to be processed. Mining and creating new machinery, like steam power, and in the 20th century, oil, coal, and gas. We've also cut down forests, destroying ecosystems, both land and water, polluting and consuming, because consuming is considered to be the social norm. Our energy consumption has increased so rapidly that 8% of the world energy has sustained by the use of fossil fuels, and because of this, our society faces long environmental challenges of destruction, extinction, temperature of our climate rising to dangerous levels, as well as smog. Now knowing the background information, the social science theory I use to explain this topic is the tension and adaptive theory. Because when part of the social system changes, consumption rates, tension is created. Environmental. In the process of adaptations, in this case long term. So why does society continue to consume when it will only deepen the tension in this social change? And this is because of the condition of social norms. Thinking it's right to overconsume. Materialistic values. Wanting the newest thing because buying it makes you feel good. Globalization. Everyone in the world is trying to gain wealth through technology and resources in attempts at becoming more American way of living, as well as in affluence. Knowing you can have the money to buy things others can't. All these conditions fuel consumerism, creating the tension between society and their environments, playing a game of tug-of-war to decide which side is going to have to adapt before the other. So, what kinds of social resistance are taking place in response to this environmental tension? It is fear. Fear of negative consequences. People not only fear the dangers of the environmental consequences, but also partaking in any action bigger than themselves. An example is to stop consuming, but yet a person who stops consuming goes against society's materialistic values, its social norms, and to do that, some people fear that consequences of social action in society rather than the physical actions need to partake in the environment. Although there is change in this social theory, some people are resisting this change. There is advocacy, which is the public for the recommendation of one's particular cause. An example being Earth Day, invented in 1970 by United States Senator Gaylord Nelson. Nelson is a senator, so it could also be partake under political activism. By the 1990s, the need for green technology was realized and created the start of the environmental revolution, a new system coming into play to turn the direction where consumers want to buy. So, some green inventions included electric-powered cars, LED light bulbs, recycled materials, solar and hydro energy, wind power through wind turbines, and so much more. Protests. Canada's biggest environmental protest was in February 2013, also occurring in America, about the oil and tar pipeline industry expanding. This particular protest was seen as a threat to national security. Now, this creates tension in the opposite order of our social change theory. Instead of society creating tension for the environment, these environmentalists are creating tension on society and questioning the amount they must consume, in quotes, to be happy. More ways of creating social change is through fighting to obtain government acts, regulations, and agreements. So, what regulations and agreements are currently in place for Canada? Our first one, Canada's Ontario Government Agreement respecting the Great Lakes Basin ecosystem. Our second, Canada Environmental Protection Act. And our third, the Great Lakes Water Quality Agreement. Though these acts and regulations do not cover the whole broad spectrum of problems, it's a start. That being said, one of the discussion questions I'm going to ask you guys to answer is, what regulations should take place in order for society's consumption rates to adapt to the necessary actions of tension? Coming back to one of the first topics of how society has impacted the environment, I am now going to discuss the impact of social change on individuals and society. This tension and adaptive theory, as far as I've explained, has many positive as well as negative impacts on both society and our environment. It's created tension on individuals and society to consider different methods expressed in both sound and active ways to reduce the size of our footprint in attempts at lowering the amount of consumed per year. It forces people in these social groups to act on social change. This impact also includes adapting to the tension at hand. Instead of the one social order adapting, which is the environment, societies and individuals' social order will be the ones needed to adapt and resolve this question. So what happens if society and individuals remain unadaptive? Tension increases, and it creates smog, melting polar ice caps, cities flooding, countries in drought, species deteriorating, sinkholes forming under houses, as well as weather phenomenons. In efforts to make a more positive social change, people should strive to reverse social order in that tug-of-war game, letting the social order of the environment having the leading hand. In the next few seconds, a list of my sources that I use will be shown up. Thank you guys for listening to this social presentation.